श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् ॐ वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं वन्दे तं सच्चिदानन्दं यतिवर्यं महामतिम् वेदवेदान्तसारग्नं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं श्रीगुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं सद्गुरुं सच्चिदानन्दं साधुवर्यं सनातनं सद्वेदान्तप्रवक्तारं सदा स्मन्ते स्मराम्यहं गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुविष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो नमो महभ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So we saw the first basic principle of Shankara Vedanta out of 5 basic principles, which is Sarvatrika Purnanubhava, and also we saw some part of witnessing principle also in the class, and also we completed the study circle regarding the Sarvatrika Purnanubhava. But we just have to see that Purnamada Purnamidam Shanti Mantra's meaning. After completing that, we will continue with the normal class. Now I think Smriti has to go through that. So will you do? Continue.
पूर्णतः पूर्ण मुदच्यते का अर्थ बताना था ना सर?
Yes.
The Brahma or the real nature of self, and the one who should absorb the pervasiveness of this self in the appearance of the whole universe. Sir, here ये बताया गया है कि
beginning से ही बोलिए. Here it is hinted from there.
Okay. Here it is hinted that the word idam, the appearance and disappearance of the universe, is to be taken as a whole. So explain भी करें. Sir, explanation.
वही थोड़ा explain करके.
Okay, sir. So idam means appearance and disappearance of universe. Here, sir,
वही entire universe, appearance, disappearance of the entire universe. For example, the appearance of the entire waking state. So when you say the appearance of the entire waking state, it includes all the 3 planes: material plane, corporeal plane, and divine plane. It all includes everything. Comprehensive vision of the world. It will include all the things. When you say that is the idam, appearance and disappearance of the world, that is the idam. Okay. So then, so appearance and when you say appearance and disappearance, it will include vyakta and avyakta prapancha both. Then what is the other?
This is the comprehensive vision regarding the world. By the word adah, it is denoted that one's own true nature of being, which is the substratum of the appearance and disappearance of the universe, is that the Brahman or the real nature of the self. Here, adah means the own's true nature, which is true self, Brahman.
Which is holding this, which is the substratum of the all, which is the essence of that.
Yes.
That is the adaha.
That is adaha. Okay.
So that means that it is the Sakshi Swarupa. It is the real nature of the self, which is holding the entire appearance of the and disappearance of the world. Okay. Now then.
And then one should observe the pervasiveness of the self in the appearance of the whole universe. Purnatah Purnamudachyate means the self is all pervasive. For example, अगर क्ले और पॉट का ले तो क्ले is there in the pot, but we cannot see uh, clay as a pot, but the true self is clay, right sir?
राइट। सो एग्जाम्पल्स बताए ना, ऐसे इस वजह से। और दृष्टांत भी बताना है। दृष्टांत जो बोला, वो वो मिट्टी जो है, ये मिट्टी वो ये सर्वी मकड़ी से व्यापक है, पूरा व्यापक है।
Ye- yes
So
sir.
if one observes that, when one observe that in the pot, the only available material is clay alone, so then no one can see the pot at all.
Yes sir,
They
only
can see
clay
the
left.
appearance of the pot only, but all the pot is pervaded by clay only. That is an
Yes sir.
example. So in the Drashtanta, how will you do that?
uh, in Drastanta,
हम्म। इसमें कारण क्या है? इसमें एग्जाम्पल में कार्य कौन सा है, कारण कौन सा है? ये दृष्टांत में कार्य कौन सा है, कारण कौन सा है?
sir, Karad is clay.
एग्जाम्पल में
Clay.
कारण कौन सा है?
Karan is pot which is made up of clay.
नो नो नो,
Clay.
कारण नहीं।
Clay.
सब कारण बताइए पहले। कारण कारण क्या है इसमें? एग्जाम्पल में कार्य क्या है, कारण क्या है? विच इज कॉज एंड विच इज बिकमिंग, बीइंग विद
Cause
बिकमिंग।
is clay. Clay is
हाँ,
cause and
व्हाट
becoming
इज
is
इफेक्ट?
pot.
व्हाट इज इफेक्ट?
Yes sir.
कारण, कारण जो है वो क्ले है, ठीक है। दृष्टांत
Yes.
में कारण कौन सा है, कार्य कौन सा है इसमें ही?
दृष्टांत में
हम्म।
कारण is clay and कार्य is pot.
दृष्टांत में यहाँ दृष्टांत हो गया।
Okay, okay.
दृष्टांत
So,
मतलब या
so
दृष्टांत। हम्म, क्यों दृष्टांत?
दृष्टांत में
हम्म,
कारण is pot and कार्य is clay.
दृष्टांत में यहाँ यहाँ क्या है? दृष्टांत हम
Sir,
लोक में दृष्टांत क्यों बताता है हम? दृष्टांत के क्यों? एग्जाम्पल, why will we give the example in the world? Is it for that purpose only?
no sir.
Then
Uh,
to
for
explain something,
yes sir,
you will
to
give an
give
example, right?
meaning behind the example.
Correct. Here, what is the thing which is going to explain here? So, what
Okay.
is the karya and what is the karan here? Simple. ये जो अदम, ये इदम,
Yes
इसमें
sir.
से कारण कौन सा है, कार्य कौन सा है?
Karan is Adam and कार्य is
हाँ,
idam.
हाँ, वही। मुश्किल है क्या ये?
नो सर, एक्चुअली मैं थोड़ा सा नहीं कर ज्यादा उसको
ठीक है, वही है जो
इंटरप्रेट नहीं
चलता
कर
है,
पा रही।
वो चलता है, वो चलता
सर
है।
कॉन्सेप्ट
पर
मेरा सही नहीं है, मैं बहुत ज्यादा बेसिक अभी शुरुआत किया मैंने।
वो ठीक है, वो ठीक है, वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि यहाँ ये इदम आपने बोला, ये इदम, ये जो अपीयरेंस वर्ल्ड वो जो है वो कार्य
यस
है, और
सर,
अदम जो है वो इस
वो
सभी से
कार्य।
व्यापक हो गया है, वो कारण है। सर
यस
कैसे? सो हम जैसे पॉट को देखता है, सो कि वो पॉट, ये सभी पॉट में ये मिट्टी ही व्यापक हुआ है, जैसे यहाँ भी वो दृष्टि होना चाहिए। हमको वो दृष्टि नहीं है यहाँ, क्योंकि हम बाह्य विषयों से ही हमारा दृष्टि रखा है। अंदर अंतर्दृष्टि हमको नहीं है। जब तक हम बाह्य दृष्टि के हिसाब से देखता है प्रपंच को, ये आदम ये जो है उसको हम नहीं देख सकता। सो इसलिए सो वी हैव टू ऑब्जर्व केयरफुली। सो ऑब्जर्वेशन, observe, when you observe carefully, the perseverance of this entire universe is only through this adam, the substratum only. So then what will happen? Then continue by this.
By this, when the universe is falsified, then this falsification is called as Purnasya Purnamadaya.
hmm. एक्सप्लेन कीजिए वही को falsification मतलब क्या है वो?
So, when we understand that the whole pot is made up of clay,
hmm.
so pot pot अब नहीं रहता है, बस क्ले
हाँ,
बचता है,
नहीं
वो
रहता है।
फॉल्सिफिकेशन।
वेरी गुड।
जी
नहीं रहता है ना, तो
जी
उसका
जी।
एग्जिस्टेंस नहीं रहता है, पार्ट का एग्जिस्टेंस अलग से नहीं रहता है।
हम्म।
मिट्टी से अलग
बोथ।
से पार्ट का एग्जिस्टेंस नहीं रहता है ना।
हम्म।
So
जैसा।
we can't separate the pot and separate the mitti. I can't show this is a pot, this is the mitti, right?
जैसा।
क्योंकि हम मिट्टी को ही पॉट जैसे देख रहा है हम, इसलिए ऐसा फॉल्सिफिकेशन आ गया, ये मकड़ी का फॉल्सिफिकेशन हो गया, क्योंकि हम समझा है कि मिट्टी ही है, और इसमें ही भी ऐसा ही होना चाहिए। वन शुड ऑब्जर्व केयरफुली। ऑब्जर्व करने के बाद क्या होगा यहाँ?
क्ले एंड पॉट में डिफरेंस नहीं रहेगा।
हाँ, यहाँ क्या होगा, मतलब दृष्टांत में किसका फॉल्सिफिकेशन होगा?
फॉल्सिफिकेशन ऑफ पॉट।
नो नो, दृष्टांत में, दृष्टांत हो गया, दृष्टांत में
फॉल्सिफिकेशन
यहाँ।
ऑफ
हाँ, आप टेंशन में है
सर
क्या?
ड्रास्टांट, सर ड्रास्टांट तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा कैसे
दृष्टांत
एक्सप्लेन करूं।
मतलब वही द एग्जाम्पल इज गिवन। लोक में हम
यस सर।
एग्जाम्पल क्यों देता है? टू एक्सप्लेन समथिंग ना। So
यस यस सर।
example is दृष्टांत. Okay, note down if you want anywhere. Example is दृष्टांत। दृष्टांत मतलब हम क्यों एग्जाम्पल देता है हम लोक में? To explain something, right? So
यस सर।
example is will not be given only for the purpose of example. It will be given to explain something else, right? So that something else is called drashtanta. So here drishtanta of pot and clay is given not for that purpose, to explain this concept. Okay, so that is drashtanta. यहाँ दृष्टांत में क्या है, क्या होता है, वो किसका फॉल्सिफिकेशन होता है?
फॉल्सिफिकेशन ऑफ सर इग्नोरेंस, जो हमें भ्रमित किया है कि दैट इज पॉट नॉट क्ले।
वो पॉट क्ले हो गया, एग्जाम्पल हो गया। यहाँ
ओके।
यहाँ कौन किसका फॉल्सिफिकेशन होता है? केयरफुली ऑब्जर्व किया करने के बाद ये सारे प्रपंच का,
यस सर, प्रपंच।
हाँ सारे प्रपंच, सारे विश्व जो है, वो इदम जो है, वो इदम फॉल्सिफाई होता है। आई थिंक आर यू कैचिंग, यू आर
यस
अंडरस्टैंडिंग,
यस
राइट?
सर।
हाँ
यस
हाँ। सो ये
सर।
फॉल्सिफिकेशन, ये इदम का फॉल्सिफिकेशन होने के बाद क्या रहता है? अतः ये वो
अतः
जो
सेल्फ
प्रपंच है,
रिमेन्स
वही
ओनली।
वही रहता है, वही रहता
ओके।
है। मतलब वो फॉल्सिफिकेशन होने के बाद वही रहता है। And then that's why after the falsification it called purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vasishyate. So everything is purna, nothing is apurna.
Yes.
So if we don't have birth and death at all, if you have birth and death, the death, it's keep on changing. It is not at all a true thing. The substratum of all the things which is there, that itself is existing. That itself is Purna. That is the meaning of the term Purnamada, Purnamidam, and all the other things. Okay. So now the statistical part is completed. We shall now continue with the second fundamental principle, which is cognizing the witnessing principle of life, which is the substratum of the entire universe. So which we just saw now, substratum, that Adha, that itself is the Sakshi Swarupa. So in last time we saw in the normal class, we saw example from Brihadaranyaka where Usashta Chakrayana asked Yagnavalkya Maharshi to show the Brahman, Sakshat Aparokshat Brahma, the meaning of Sakshat Aparokshat, that we saw in the last class. That itself is a Sakshi. So now we have to go through this book, page number 36 in Guidelines to Shankara Vedanta, where it begins with Sri Swami, our Swamiji has declared that until and unless one cognizes that the witnessing principle, which is his true nature and which is called the witness or Anubhava Swarupa or Sakshi Anubhava, which is quite separate from the two types of experiences. So the one has to clearly cognize, understand the nature of the witnessing principle. That is very, very important. We have to recognize that Anubhava Swarupa. So if we clearly understand this concept of witnessing principle, so we will hold the path of this spirituality, Adhyatma path. We will hold this path and we will continue with this path until unless we reach the goal. So that's why knowing this concept of Sakshi Anubhava is very important, which is separate from two types of Anubhava. Which are all those two types of Anubhava? One is Pratyaya Anubhava. So what is Pratyaya? The perceptions which comes with the contact of the other objects through the sense organs. So current, when it passes through different instruments, so then the functions will vary. When it passes to the heater, it will heat. When it passes to the cooler, it will cool. When it passes through the entertainment media, which is TV, mobile, it will show that. So likewise, the self, when it passes to the sense organs or karmendriya, so the functions will differ. When it passes through eyes, it will tell, I can see. When it passes through ears, I can hear. So likewise, it will happen. And it is a pratyaya anubhava. What is the meaning of pratyaya? The another name of pratyaya is vritti. So in the mind, we will understand the concept. When we say some word, that word concept will appear in our mind. Then only we can understand that particular thing. Example, if I say water, or pani in Hindi, okay, so immediately we can understand the term water. That is because in our mind, the concept of water, the shape, the shape of concept of water will appear. So then only we can understand the term water. If at all, if the same term is told in any other language like Chinese or whatever, so we can't understand that term. That is because, so that in our mind, that concept, it will not build in our mind. So that is called vritti. So if I so if I so when we say some whatever, so if I in one sentence, so in this class also, whatever I tell, so that in your mind the concept should come and go, then only you can able to understand the things, otherwise you can't understand. So in one class, if I tell many things, the thing which you have understood is partial. That is because in your mind that kind of concept has not developed. The reason might be anything. So your mind might have diverted to other things. So that is why in our mind that concept will not appear. So for example, if I say if I just say uh, uh, different names of vegetables and fruits, apple, apples, sapota, and ladyfinger, brinjal. If I say all those things, you can understand those things only if the concept of that thing will appear in your mind. Correct. So brinjal, when I say brinjal, the concept of brinjal should appear in your mind. Otherwise, you can't understand the concept of brinjal. Right. So likewise here also, when I say Adam, Idam and all, if you don't know the concept of Ada, Ida, Sakshi, or whatever, if you doesn't know that term, so that vritti, it will not appear in your mind. So you can't understand that. That is called vritti or pratyaya. This is very most important concept. In Kena Upanishad, it is there. This concept is well defined, and through that, so we can able to cognize our Atman. Okay. So that is the concept of vritti. That is pratyaya anubhava, vritti anubhava. Okay. So that can be of many kinds. It need not be like like uh, only the concept which appears in our mind. It can be like the taste. For example, if I say this any South Indian sweet like Obbattu or any other Pongal and all. So unless and until you have experienced that kind of sweet, that in your mind that vritti or concept will not appear. So if at all, if you say the sweet which is famous there in North India, like your gulab jamun or your jangir, jalebi, rasgulla, so that concept will appear in mind. So it need not be a shape. May not be a shape. It can be a when you have experience of that thing, then only that vritti will develop in your mind. Okay, that is called pratyaya anubhava. And another is vedana anubhava. What is this vedana anubhava? The emotions or feelings or mental conceptions which occur bereft of the functions of sense organs only in the mind, just as anger, happiness, devotion, jealousy. These are not like the concept which I told. So anger. So anger will not go through any of the sense organs. So it will appear. Anger will appear. Happiness will appear. Devotion will appear. Jealousy, that will also there. It is also part of Anubhava, including the mystic exponential yoga anubhava. Like yogi will be having different kind of anubhava which we can't see in normal human beings. So those kind of anubhava is called vedana anubhava. So if you go to the doctor and say that I have got a stomach pain, so doctor will not say show the stomach pain, I want to see. Just like a wound, show me the wound, how much it is, the intensity of the wound you can see by his eyes. but he can't see the intensity of the stomach pain. So that's why he will not say to show that. It is just an Vedana Anubhava. Okay. It is impossible to recognize that there is our true nature, which is called as Anubhava Swarupa, and in which all types of experiences culminate, and which is the witness of all modification of Antakarana, including the mean ocean. Okay, so that we have to recognize. So that we saw when we were going through the Mandukya Upanishad in brief, that we saw we have got the experience of the waking state, we have got the experience of the deep sleep state, we have got experience of the dream state, but we have not recognized the state which is holding all these three states. Without that state, so no state exists. So that state, which is common for all these three states, is Sakshanubhava, which is named as Turiya. Turiya is not a separate state from waking, dream, or sleep. It is the real state. These three states is appearance on that Turiya. Okay? So that's why all this Anubhava is where it is emanating and where is it is culminating. These kind of Anubhava, from where it is coming up. So you are telling, you are perceiving the things in world. So how you have perceived that? So how, from where it came? What is the source? From where it emanated? And also from where it is merging, where it is culminating, and which and witness of all the modification, all the modification, all the modification of the waking state as a whole. Shankaracharya will always, his business is always wholesale business. Wholesale business. Our Guruji was telling the same only. Shankara always deals with the wholesale business. He will not deal with the retail business at all. If he deals with the retail business, so then it will be like other Shed Darshanas. The wholesale business, the entire Purnanubhava, comprehensive vision of life. So the whole modification of Antakarana, that includes the mean ocean. What is that mean ocean? So the thing which we identify that it's me. Okay, that is the mean ocean. So that we'll see, and hence it is difficult to penetrate the secrets of Shankara Vedanta. So because the Veda, it is not, there is no Vedanta like normal Vedanta and Shankara Vedanta. Why the name Shankara Vedanta? Because others has also told the Vedanta. That's why we are telling that as a Shankara Vedanta. Because before all these Vedantins, who has explained the concept which is different from Shankara Vedanta. That's why we are telling that Shankara Vedanta. But before that, Advaita Vedanta only. There were a different opinion about the Advaita Vedanta. That is different. There is no concept. There was no concept of Dvaita, Vishishta, Dvaita, Shakti, Vishishta at that time. But this Shankara Vedanta, when you say Shankara Vedanta, it is Vedanta only. So it is difficult to penetrate the secrets of Shankara Vedanta. Because when you want to understand the concept of Vedanta, you should have a purified mind. You should have a jignasa. Mumukshatva is required. Purified mind, complete purification of mind may not be there. But the thing is, mumukshatva, the aspiration, jignasutva, the urge to know the concept of self, the urge to know the concept of God, that should be there. When that is there, so you will have the concentrated mind to understand this concept. because knowing the concept is also not that much easy. It is easy, of course it is easy, because it is in our anubhava only, it is in our experience. But if you are attached to the external world only, even if you say all these things, it's of no use. That's why Bhagavan in 18th chapter he says to whom this Bhagavad Gita has to be told and to whom it has not to be told. In 18th chapter he declares that, because this is Guhyatamam. He will tell that this is Guhyatamam. That's why secret. Secret. Why this is Guhyatamam? Because if you tell to everyone, all of them can't understand. The only one who want this, they only can understand. So though who are all those who can't understand this? That he says that idam te na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana nacha shushrushave vacham nachama bhyoyasuveti. I'm not going to explain completely on this, but I will just tell in brief. Idam te na tapaskaya. One tapaskaya. Na bhaktaya kadachana. Bhakta. वो जो भक्त नहीं है, वो तपस्या नहीं है, वो भक्त नहीं है. इदं ते ना तपस्काय ना भक्ताय कदाचन न च शुश्रूषवे वाचम. शुश्रूषा सेवा मनोभाव जिसको नहीं है, शुश्रूषवे नचमा भ्योयसु, असूया रहेगा. वो असूया रहेगा. मैं बताता हूँ क्या वो है असूया. उसको नचमा भ्योयसुवेति. इन लोगों को ये भगवत गीता वेदांता समझ में नहीं आएगा. क्या है वो तपस्या? मतलब क्या है? So when you say the term tapas, we will only think about the caste tapas, what we see in the movies and other things. That is also kind of tapas, but that is different kind of tapas. But what Bhagavan is saying here, the tapas means, from his word itself, in the 17th chapter, if you see, he defines three kind of tapas. One is Sharirika tapas, Vachika tapas, and Manasika tapas. Okay. So while telling the Sharirika tapas, the tapasya which can be performed by our body, he says, Deva Dvijaguru Pragnam, Pujanam Shauchamarjavam, Brahmacharya Mahimsacha, Shariram Tapa Uchyate. So, Deva, Dvija, Guru, Pragna, मतलब देवता लोगों, देवताओं से पूज्य भाव रखना चाहिए, क्योंकि देवता से ही हम यहाँ है. हम बात कर रहे हैं तो वो अग्नि देवता का अनुग्रह से हम बात कर रहा हूँ. हम प्रपंच का देख रहा हूँ ना, आदित्य देवता का अनुग्रह से ही मैं देख रहा हूँ. जैसे सभी कार्य दिक देवता का अनुग्रह से मैं सुन रहा हूँ. चंद्र देवता का अनुग्रह से हम मन से आलोचन कर रहा हूँ. ऐसे देवता का प्रेजेंस से ही हमारा सभी काम चल रहा है. इसलिए देवताओं से पूज्य भाव रखना चाहिए. और दो देवा, द्विजा मतलब क्या होता है? द्विजा मतलब वो वेदांत संपन्न ब्राह्मण और वट एवर, वेदांत, जो वेदांत पढ़ा है, वो आचरण कर रहा है. वेदांत नहीं, वेदांत सभी होता है. जिसके क्योंकि हम सभी लोग वेद नहीं पढ़ता, पर जो लोग वेद को पढ़ रहा है उसके पूज्य भाव रखना चाहिए, क्योंकि उन लोग से ही हमारा सनातन संस्कृति है. वो ही हमारा मार्गदर्शन कर सकता है. द्विज लोग जो है उससे पूज्य भाव रखना जरूरी है. इसको जानने के लिए हम वो जो पुराण महाभारत रामायण पढ़ लिया तो हमको समझ में नहीं आएगा, समझ आएगा। ओके ठीक है, ज्यादा नहीं बता रहा हूँ हमने से इस कॉन्सेप्ट को। ओके, देवा द्विज, गुरु मतलब क्या है? वो जो हमको समझता है आध्यात्मिक विचार और लौकिक विचार, जो लौकिक विचार के लौकिक विचार जो है वो रहेगा, बट आध्यात्मिक विचार वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। तो जो बताता है वो गुरु होता है, गुरु से पूज्य भाव रखना चाहिए। और प्राज्ञम, प्राज्ञम मतलब आत्मा, जो ज्ञानी लोग है उसका पूज्य भाव रखना चाहिए। वो ये सभी लोगों से पूज्य पूज्य भाव से देखना है, पूज्य भाव से बात करना है, वो होना है। और देव द्विज गुरु प्राज्ञम पूजनम शौचम आर्जवम, पूजनम पूज्य भाव रखना चाहिए इन चार लोगों से। और शौचम, शौचम मतलब क्या होता है? शारीरिक शौच इम्पोर्ट, और मानसिक शौच, सभी शरीर को शुद्ध रखना चाहिए। ज्यादा है उसमें शास्त्र में कैसे शुद्ध रखना चाहिए, वो सभी है। ओके ठीक है, शारीरिक और मानसिक शुद्ध भी होना चाहिए। शौचम, आर्जवम, आर्जवम मतलब क्या है? स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्डनेस, काया वाचा मनसा, हम बात चिंतन होना चाहिए। हम जो चिंतन करता है वो ही हमारा आचरण में रहना चाहिए, वो आर्जव होता है। पूजनम शौचम आर्जवम। और ब्रह्मचर्य, ब्रह्मचर्य मतलब क्या होता है? हमारा जो आचरण जो है वो शुद्ध रहना चाहिए। ब्रह्मचर्य मतलब ये ब्रह्मचर्य होता है, वो मैरिज नहीं होता है, वही ब्रह्मचारी होता है, सेलिब्रेट भी करता है इंग्लिश में। दैट अलोन इज नॉट ब्रह्मचर्य, दैट इज काइंड ऑफ ब्रह्मचर्य। नैष्टिक ब्रह्मचर्य होता है, और अलग तरीका का ब्रह्मचर्य होता है, वो है। पर हम ग्रस्त होने के बाद भी हमारा आचरण शुद्ध रहेगा, तो एक पत्नी व्रतस्थ रहेगा, तो हम भी वही ब्रह्मचर्य होता है। ब्रह्मचर्यम और अहिंसा चा, अहिंसा आचरण में होना चाहिए। ओके, ये सभी करने के बाद शारीरिक तपस होता है, ये शारीरिक तपस है। और दूसरा हम लिखकर बताने तो अच्छा होता था, ठीक है, मेरा प्लान में नहीं था ये, ठीक है, स्टडी सर्कल में हम देख लेंगे इफ एट ऑल, इफ इट परमिट्स। सो मानसिक ये वो शारीरिक तपस हो गया। मानसिक तपस कौन था? नहीं, वाचिक तपस कौन सा होता है? वाचा, वाचा मतलब क्या है? हम जो बात करता है ना, बात कैसे करना है, हम बात से ही हम तपस्या कर सकता है। वो क्या होता है? क्योंकि हमारा जो व्यवहार जो है बिना बात करने से नहीं चलता है, वो देर इज सम काइंड ऑफ आर्ट। इफ यू speak by that kind of art, so that speech itself will become a kind of tapas. So how you have to speak is important. So he says that anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyam hitam chayat. अनुद्वेगकरम वाक्य, व्हाट इज अनुद्वेग? उद्वेग मतलब क्या है? एक्साइटमेंट नहीं होना चाहिए। हम दूसरों से बात करने के वक्त हमको क्रोध नहीं आना चाहिए। एक्साइटमेंट इसलिए आता है जिस वक्त हमको काम और क्रोध का भाव होता है, वो नहीं होना चाहिए। वी शुडंट राइज इन एनी वे, ठीक है। क्रोध से, क्रोध रहेगा तो उद्वेग होता है। अनुद्वेग कर्म, उद्वेग नहीं होना चाहिए। अनुद्वेग कर्म वाक्यम, हमारा बात में उद्वेग का कुछ भी थिंग नहीं रहना चाहिए। ओके, अनुद्वेग कर्म वाक्यम सत्यम अनुद्वेगकरम वाक्यम सत्यम, सत्य उद्वेग का बात नहीं किया तो वो सत्य, वो क्या ठीक है, पर सत्य बात होना चाहिए। ओके, क्योंकि सत्य प्योर सत्य क्या है, वो आत्मा, आत्म स्वरूप ही सत्य है। पर लौकिक में हम जो बोलता है ना, वो सत्य वचन ही बोलना है हम, वो होगा। ओके, सत्य, सत्यम, प्रियम, ओके, सत्य हो गया। सारा सत्य प्रिय नहीं होता है। इफ यू टेल योर सन हैज फेल्ड इन हिज एग्जाम, वो प्रिय नहीं है। इफ यू टेल आपका, आपको हेयर नहीं है, क्यों हेयर नहीं है आप हमारा ये तो तुम्हारे हेड में, ये प्रिय बात नहीं है। आप क्यों ऐसा है, आप क्यों फैट है, आप क्यों इतना लीन है, वो प्रिय नहीं है, वो सत्य है। सत्य रहेगा, वो प्रिय होना चाहिए, सत्य वचन होना चाहिए, वो प्रिय प्रिय भी होना चाहिए, सुनने को अच्छा रहना चाहिए। सत्यम प्रियम हित चेत, ओके, अनुद्वेगकरम वाक्यम, सत्यम प्रियम, okay, these three things should be there for vachika tapas. And then if at all, if you want, if you want to if you want to use your mouth to speak, you go with the swadhyaya, swadhyaya abhyasanam chaya. What is swadhyaya? Means whatever is there in your shaka, that veda adhyayana, veda adhyayana, whatever is there in your particular gotra or shaka, so that adhyayana we have to do, veda adhyayana. Okay, we may say that, so that practice is not there in our family, that practice may not be there. At least we have got this. No, it is not at least, sorry, I shouldn't say that least, it is best, which is sahasranamas. Vishnu sahasranama is there, Shiva sahasranama is there, Lalita sahasranama is there. Likewise, many kind of stotras which has come from Ramayana, Mahabharata, and many Puranas are there. Durga Saptashati. Okay, if you don't want to go with all those things, at least you can say Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Namah Shivaya. Those things are there. If you want to speak, speak that only. That is Swadhyaya. Swa Adhyaya. Swadhyaya means Swa Adhyaya. गुरु के पास वो जो स्टडी करता है, उसके बाद हम will learn by ourselves. Their aim it's called Swa Adhyaya. So you have to learn while learning Bhagavad Gita shloka or whatever. So you will put an effort to learn that. After learning without practice, if you don't do the practice, it will go in some other time. 1 second. Charger. So that's why Swa Adhyaya is needed. Okay, studying by your own without the presence of Guru. That is Swa Adhyaya. Swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangvayam tapa uchyate. This is called वाचिक तपस. और मानसिक तपस है, मन से करने वाला तपस, क्योंकि मन में बहुत आलोचन हम करता है, वो ये सूक्ष्म होता है। ये शारीरिक तपस ज्यादा स्थूल है कंपेयर टू वाचिक तपस, ये सूक्ष्म होता है। कंपेयर टू मानसिक तपस, फिर भी वो अगेन इट इज subtler than this वाचिक तपस. ओके, क्या है वो मानसिक तपस? मन प्रसाद सौम्यत्वम, मौनमात्व विनिग्रह, मन, what is it? भाव संशुद्धि रीते तत् मानसिक तपोच्यते. मन प्रसाद सौम्यत्वम मौनमात्म विनिग्रह। आई थिंक इज इट करेक्ट? हाँ, मन को प्रसन्न में रखना चाहिए। मन प्रसाद सौम्यत्वम, सौम्य प्रसन्नता में हम मन होना चाहिए। वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, पर फिर प्रैक्टिस करना है, क्योंकि प्रैक्टिस करने के वक्त हमको पता लगता है प्रसन्न रखने के लिए क्या क्या करना पड़ता है। मन प्रसाद सौम्यत्वम मौनमात्म विनिग्रह। ओके, मौन प्रैक्टिस करना बहुत मुश्किल है। मौन मतलब क्या होता है? इट इज जस्ट नॉट लाइक नॉट स्पीकिंग, not not to have, not to speak inside also अलौकिक विचार नहीं आना चाहिए, मौन रहना चाहिए। बहुत मुश्किल है वो। ओके, मन प्रसाद सौम्य तो मौनम आत्म विनिग्रह होना चाहिए। कंट्रोल शुड बी देयर, एफर्टफुल कंट्रोल शुड बी देयर। मौनम आत्म विनिग्रह, मन प्रसाद सौम्य तो मौनम आत्म विनिग्रह। Then I forgot something. Manasam tapa uchyate. This is called manasika tapas. So these are all kind of tapas. What is the first thing? Idante na tapas kaya. Tapas ऐसा होता है. So practice करना है. ये तपस्या हमको, if at all if it is not there, we have to practice this kind of tapas. Okay. So then ना तपस का है, ना भक्ता है कदाचना, भक्त होना चाहिए। क्या है भक्त मतलब? भक्ति का डेफिनेशन क्या है? इसलिए नारद महर्षि से सिन्ही सूत्र, फर्स्ट सूत्र दैट सा तस्मिन् परम प्रेम रूपाया, भगवान से प्रेम, इंटेंस लव टुवर्ड्स भगवान is called भक्ति। दैट इज अ भक्ति। भक्ति होना चाहिए, भक्त को ही ये कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आएगा, क्योंकि अभक्त को ये बागला को बागला को
ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ತನ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ.
अभक्त को ये भगवत गीता और वेदांत समझ में नहीं आता है, इसलिए उन लोगों को नहीं बोलना है। ना भक्ताय कदाचना, नचा शुश्रूषा। शुश्रूषा क्या होता है? जिसको सेवा मनोभाव नहीं है, तो शबरी जैसा होना है, सेवा मनोभाव। ये बहुत बहुत ज्यादा स्टोरीज है सेवा मनोभाव के लिए, but it is not time to tell. I will tell that in some other time. Okay. शताशुष्णचमा असूया इस जिसको रहेगा, उससे जिसका मन में असूया रहेगा, उसको भी नहीं बोलना है। ये स्टोरी आता है ना, पौंड्रक जैसा वो राक्षस था, वो सोच रहा था कि मैं ही कृष्ण हूँ। पौंड्रक है ना, वो कौन सा है? पौंड्रक आई थिंक। वो बोल रहा था मैं ही कृष्ण हूँ। ये कृष्ण जो है वो हम लोग सही, तुम लोग समझ रहा है कि वो भगवान है, भगवान नहीं है, मैं ही कृष्ण हूँ, मैं ही नारायण हूँ, ऐसा बोल रहा था। उस भगवान से असूया था। मतलब हमको भी ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि भगवान जो बोलता है चैलेंज नहीं करना है भगवान से, क्योंकि इफ यू चैलेंज दैट कैनॉट बी ए गुरु। So here also in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna took Sri Krishna as a guru. So then only Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan started to teach him. स्वीकृत करना है गुरु, गुरु जैसे। So गुरु से चैलेंज नहीं करना है। You can ask the question, that is different story, that is not a challenging. So you shouldn't say that, hey, whatever Krishna said, let us see what he will tell. Or he is telling these things, how it will happen. So like that it shouldn't say. असूया होता है, ये वो कौन है? कृष्ण और वो क्या है याज्ञवल्क्य महर्षि वो जो बोल रहा है हम मैं उससे भी इंटेलिजेंट हूँ, ऐसा होता है असूया। नशमाभ्युसुवति। ये सभी लोगों को ये वेदांत समझ में नहीं आता है, इसलिए so this is different context, but the thing is, so to know this concept, why I told all these things, to at least to know understand this concept, without some amount of these things we may not have 100% tapas or bhakti or shushrusa. Okay, we may not have that, but the thing is some amount of sadhanas should be there. If we lack with this kind of sadhanas, so we can't able to understand itself. We can't understand the anubhava. We can't have a gnana. Vignana will not happen. Gnana is understanding. Vignana is to take a standpoint in that self. That will not happen. This is so that's why secrets, the term secret came, no? That's why I told all these things. Okay, secrets Shankara Vedanta. So echoing this view, Sri Shankara has declared in his Sutra Bhashya 114 that, so here the objection is, who is the objector here? पूर्व पक्षी कौन है कि ये बोल रहा है, वो ये पूर्व पक्षी वो पूर्व मीमांसी जो है उसके हिसाब से ये आत्मा जो है हम ऑब्जेक्टिफाई कर सकता है, जैसे हम ऑब्जेक्टिफाई कर रहा है ये सभी थिंग्स को, ऐसे ही हम आत्मन को भी ऑब्जेक्टिव कर सकता है. फॉर दैट ही विल से दैट आत्मन बीइंग द ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द मीन ओशन, it is not reasonable to say that he is known only from the Upanishad. So that means this discussion has come by the sutra called Shastra Yonitvat. शास्त्र, so अथा तो ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा होना चाहिए. क्यों ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा होना चाहिए? ये सभी डिस्कशन होने के बाद कैसे ब्रह्म को जानना है, कैसे ब्रह्म को जानना है, ये जन्माद्यस्यतः सूत्र में है. दैट इज कार्य कारणा, दैट वॉट एवर वी आर seeing, na, the science of being, that will come in that part, janmadhyasya. And from where it has come? शास्त्र योनित्वा, शास्त्री ही योनि मतलब क्या है? शास्त्र से ही हम ये सेल्फ नॉलेज को समझ सकता है, क्योंकि लौकिक विद्या से ये समझ नहीं सकता. और जस्ट बाय द that is by our sense, the empirical view, so we can't able to recognize this Atman. Okay, so that's why he raises an objection that, so it is an object for me notion, that he will say. For that Shankaracharya will reply saying that not so, for we have refuted this position by saying that this Atman is witness of that ego. Here he say aham pratyaya gamya vyatirekena tat sakshi. Aham pratyaya gamya. So aham pratyaya means what? The pratyaya. So you understood the concept of pratyaya now. But here aham, there is one pratyaya called aham, that is me notion. Okay, so the me notion, so here the concept of me notion is the identification of this body mind psychophysical concept, that this is a jiva, that itself is a me notion. Okay, this me notion, this me notion, after this me notion only the entire world is there. Okay, when you identify that you are this, so then only the so and so will come into picture. For example, just observe carefully. when you wake up in the morning, and till that time, so you will not identify that this is you. You will not you will not be having the idea that you are man, woman, or any kind of thing, or devata, uh, nichayoni, uchayoni, or whatever. But the concept of me will come only when you wake up. When you wake up, you will identify that this is me. I belong to this home. My parents are this. My wife is this. So I am responsible for this job. Those all will come into picture. Okay, that is the me notion. Okay, that will come after this me notion. But this Atman is not is witness of this ego. Vyatirekena. It is different from this me notion. He is different from this me notion, and he is the substratum of this all the me notion. That is the witness of that ego. Ego is me notion. The witness of this ego is the Sakshi. Sakshi Anubhava. Okay? The explanation of this we will see in the next class. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Katrabhyo Amsharishibhyo Namo Mahabhyo Namo Gurubhya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tasya Shri Krishna Namaskar